InnoVEX seminar. This time we are going to be talking about digital transformation, and our topic today is when imagination meets reality. Now, I would like to say a huge thank you to all our supporters and co-organizers and organizers and supporters from our government sectors, because without you, this event would never be able to make it happen. So if you bear with me, I would like to thank the following. So first of all, we would like to sincerely thank Asia Silicon Valley Development Agency, ASVDA. We would like to sincerely thank the Hungarian Trade Office from Taipei. Thank you so much. Major League IoT, TWIOTA, InnoVEX and COMPUTEX Taipei, and of course, Startup Island Taiwan. This is an initiative that we are trying to promote and initiate to push startups with investors, with ICT companies, with different trade offices, with different trade professionals, and hopefully we can stimulate a brand new idea, and hopefully we could have more business opportunities in the future. So thank you so much. Now, before we continue further to our events, just a few housekeeping to notify everyone. This is an online seminar, so we are streaming live through Google Meet and also YouTube. So today we will only be addressing questions that's regarding to digital transformation. And for all of you online streaming with us, if you have any questions, please leave the questions at your text area on Google Meet. Please ensure that you let us know what the question is and also to whom the question is for. You'll be amazed how many questions that we don't know whom to answer. Now, without further ado, I would like to invite a few guests to come up to stage for a few opening remarks. Firstly, I would like to sincerely invite the CEO of Asia Silicon Valley Development Agency, Mr. Cheng-Mount, for opening remarks. Please welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. I would be surprised. I will be the first one to speak up. And so, Ms. Lili Siklós, from Deputy Representative of the Hungarian Trade Office Taipei. And also we have Mr. László Jobbágy, from Managing Director of Digital Success Nonprofit Organization, and also Mr. Stephen Ho, consultant of DBS Bank, Taiwan. And also we have experts from ICT and all other different industry and press media, as well as distinguished guests who are with us on site and also online. A very good day to you all. I know in Hungary right now it's early in the morning, so Deputy Representative just told me you are very fresh up. And in Taiwan, we are also very exciting to have this seminar about the digital transformation. And let me share some of the few examples in Taiwan, how we take care of the digital transformation, and also how we evaluate the digital transformation. According to the report from the Worldwide Digital Transformation Spending Guide published by IDC March this year, it is estimated that the global spending on DX technology and service is forecast to grow 10.4% this year to 1.3 trillion. And also another report published by IDC July this year, they estimate that a shift of 50% of SMB to use the digital challenge stage could add another 2.6 to 3.1 trillion US dollar to Asia Pacific GDP by 2024. So those statistics showing that how is the potential for the digital transformation applications, and this represents a huge opportunities. And also let me share you some of Taiwan experience to deal with this digital transformation. I cannot say it begins with a joke. A recent survey by the to the business people. The question is, how do you think to drive the digital transformation process? The most common answers would be like the company CEO or the company CTO, Chief Technology Officer. But the most amazing answer is another C. It's called the COVID-19. And why is COVID-19 during the digital transformation? Everybody realized because of this pandemic, people's life has been changed, people's work has been changed dramatically. So the disease has stopped the world from running in terms of business as well in terms of daily life. And so on the other hand, we see that other trend has emerged from this disease. This including the e-commerce, including the remote meeting, and also the e-sport, e-commerce. Everything comes with E. And so we now see that in US there's a e-doctors called the teledoc. And so this significant change represents the trend of the digital transformation. And so I'm very glad to show you in Taiwan, under the Asian Silicon Valley Development Agency, we have this statistic for Taiwan showing that Taiwan's IoT production value accounted for 4.4% of the global market share this year. This is up to like 3.5% several years ago. And so you can see that despite this disease, Taiwan's IoT value chain also continue to be growing at double-digit growth. So another example let me share with you is Taiwan experience how to cope with this COVID-19. At the very first beginning, people are scared of the disease. People are worried about the shortage of the medical supplies. And Taiwan, of course, the number one issue is how to provide the sufficient medical mask. Even though we have the capability to build the supply chain for the medical or the masks, but at that time, we realized all the facilities are stored in the warehouse, never been opened, because at that time we think the import mask is enough for the domestic usage. But how do we deal with that? So first of all, we open up the warehouse, we take out all the equipment and start running. But we find that the facility is not enough to provide the huge needs for the public. So at that time, the President Tsai has asked us you need to do something to deal with it. So we immediately recruit all the talent, and within 2 weeks, we build up enough of the mask plan that is enough to build from 3 million masks to daily over 10,000 million masks. And in the future, you can see that from that time going on, we not only able to the self-supply domestically, we're also able to help other countries in terms of the mask. So this example demonstrates Taiwan's capability in terms of the needs. We are able to change. We are able to compromise. We are able to do something good to deal with the disease and help the world economy. And why this is important? Because I would like to take this opportunity to invite all the new startups from Hungary as well as in Taiwan. This is an opportunity for you. Why today we use the Startup Island Taiwan as our logo is because we want to show you guys that Taiwan is a very good place for running a small business as well as running a startup. The number one why we are good to become the facility or the environment to help the new startup is that Taiwan is capital-rich countries. So you can see that even though the global major central bank right now, they all provide very low interest loan or lending. But if you look at funding needs for the new startup, Taiwan become very friendly to the new startups. So we want to take this opportunity to welcome foreign staff to come to Taiwan for the fundraising activity. And second advantage for Taiwan is we have a global, very excellent supply chain. So if the startup set up your base in Taiwan, if you want to find your supply chain, just as I mentioned in the medical mask, we are able to provide you almost anything in the short term of a period. And so it's very good and very handy to set up facility here. And you just need to bring your talent here in Taiwan. We are able to provide capital as well as the other resources to help you to set up your companies. And finally, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, Hungary trade representative in Taipei to co-host this seminar. And I wish all of the new staff and all of the participants to today's event, we can share experience, we can learn something from each other. Because, you know, in recent short period, I'm not a victim of the disease. I'm a benefit from this disease because my health situation improved because I don't drink that much. I don't eat that much. But also, I also learned something from this disease is that there are many ways to solve the disease, but we cannot look at the solution just from the one angle. We need to learn how to cope with the disease from the global point of view. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the participants and hope you have a successful event today. And thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, CEO Cheng. Thank you. And next, I would like to sincerely welcome the Deputy Representative of the Hungarian Trade Office Taipei, Ms. Lili Siklós, to come up for opening remarks. Welcome. Thank you.
Esteemed Deputy Minister Cheng, dear Mr. Ho and Mr. Jobbágy, dear colleagues and friends, 大家下午好.
Oh, 下午好.
Thank you for Deputy Minister Cheng for his excellent opening remarks. And first of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Taipei Computer Association and Asia's Silicon Valley Development Agency organizing this truly spectacular hybrid webinar event today. Without the hard and diligent work of both of the TCA's and ASVDA's team, this wonderful event definitely could not realize today. The fact that local startup companies and interested company representatives did not have to stay at home and were able to join us today, this webinar physically, also showcases that Taiwan's very strong position in the current fight against COVID-19 pandemic. I would also like to thank the kind support of Digital Success Nonprofit Ltd, which is a governmental background institution in Hungary, which is aiming to support the Hungarian startup companies, such as the 5 quality enterprises, which we are going to introduce themselves during the course of today's event. I am especially happy that the managing director of the organization, Mr. Jobbágy, will deliver his keynote speech in a short while and could provide a clear picture of the latest digitalization trends in Hungary. Ladies and gentlemen, while these days are considered very much abnormal, the coronavirus pandemic also created endless opportunities besides the serious challenges, particularly in the field of digital transformation. 1 year ago, one would never imagine these kind of hybrid seminars happening, and by joining these online events, either as presenter or as a participant, was not exactly a futuristic concept. Adopting these new technologies into our everyday lives seemed rather distant. But with the COVID-19 induced uncertainties and disruptions, these new technologies and practices also created new cooperative opportunities for us. And where new fields are emerging, there is a good chance for us, for foreign representative offices as well, to create a forum or a platform where we can learn from each other and also create favorable environment for this potential joint collaboration. Before taking this position at the Hungarian Trade Office in Taipei, I had been working at a technological company and also continued my career as a science and technology attaché of our ministry. These experiences helped me to better understand the tech industry's comings and goings, and I know very well that sometimes it can be quite challenging to find the right partner for our international plans. I would like to also emphasize that our office wishes to focus on the area of digital transformation in the future even more and help the sector's companies to organize their activities online as well. So hopefully there could be more and more Hungarian and Taiwanese tech companies which could learn about each other and start considering the upsides of pooling their resources. Ladies and gentlemen, I do hope that today's event will create a long-lasting partnership, and this fruitful seminar could further develop cooperation in the field of digital information, up to a point where remarkable joint achievements could be announced on both sides. Hungary and our office will continue to work together with TCA and all the responsible governmental agencies, including ASVDA as well, to have this cooperation taking into new shape. Thank you for your attention and enjoy today's event.
Thank you very much, Ms. Siklós. Would you be so kind to remain on stage? If you'd like to step this side a little bit, because we are going for a group photo. We will just remove this podium, of course, and I would like to sincerely welcome CEO Cheng on stage. If you'd be so kind to step on this side of the stage, and I would like to invite you to be here. We are trying to maintain a good social distancing. It's a good practice, right, in the area of COVID-19. So I will step out of the camera and do just an easy countdown. And if you'd be so kind to give us a thumbs up. This is a tradition here in Taiwan. So 3, 2, 1. Thank you. A thumbs up. And today we are doing a webinar on digital transformation when imagination meets reality. Has all our cameramen got their shots? Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. If I may invite the both of you to return to your seats, please. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for the very informative opening remarks. Thank you very much, and we indeed are facing digital transformation, and it sounds like we are doing things differently, and for the better, we are progressing with what's happening around the world. And of course, as CEO Jen has mentioned, that COVID-19 apparently is driving digital transformation. So this is what we're here to talk about today. So ladies and gentlemen, before we continue further into our keynote session, I would like to just remind everyone that this is a hybrid seminar. So we have half of our guests online and half of the guests on site at our studio, a beautiful studio. The keynote sessions, I would like to invite our speakers to please maintain it between 10 to 15 minutes max. And for all our startup PPT presentations, please refrain your presentations to be under 5 minutes. We will indicate when it's 1 minute left, and that will be an indication to please wrap up your presentation. Thank you. So our first presenter is the Managing Director of Digital Success Nonprofit Limited from Hungary. Is Mr. László online with us? Mr. László, can you hear us? Oh, fantastic. Would you like to greet us?
Hello, hello. Do you hear me?
Hello, Mr. László. I will
Hello,
hand over
hello.
the microphone and the screen to you now. Just before you start, I would like to just invite our on-site participants. They're in the studio scenario and they are facing the wrong way. So I would like to ask them to kindly turn their heads towards the screen for our session. If you be so kind, sir, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear guests, dear Deputy Minister. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm echoing very badly. Maybe this way I won't hear you, but I won't be hearing myself as well. I hope you hear me as good as before. Okay, dear Deputy Minister, dear Trade Representative, dear CEOs and all distinguished guests, my name is Jobbágy László. I am the CEO for the Hungarian government's comprehensive digitization program called the Digital Success Program. And thank you for inviting us, and more importantly, thank you for having our mentee startups here to be able to cooperate. This is a seminar, so everyone should learn something. And I think the startups of Hungary and the startups of Taiwan can learn the most from each other, not from the government side. So I will try to keep my speech short. I wanted to give you basically a boring introduction of the Hungarian Digital Success Program, but then I saw the title of today's event, Imagination, Transforming Imagination to Reality. And I had some thoughts on this, so I want to share this with you. We are in a big worldwide situation which we couldn't imagine a year ago or some time ago, and I was thinking why the digitization could cope with this situation, this COVID situation, very well, and that's the same with technology, with innovation, and with digitization. Some time ago, you couldn't imagine the new technologies, the way it transformed our lives, that we call natural today. And there's a video you may have seen, you may have not, but they ask little children about pieces of technology from like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, like traditional phones and floppy disks and other old school technology to guess what they are good for and how they were meant to be used. And it is hard for them to imagine how people 30 years ago, 40 years ago lived with technology, how they coped with those challenges that we now deal with easily. So basically, I see, or we see at the Digital Success Program that even though this COVID, this pandemic situation is a terrible situation, a terrible disastrous situation in terms of digitization, in the driving of digitization. We say that in some fields, especially in education, which we are executing the digitization strategy in Hungary, we advanced about 5 years in these 3-4 months of this since March, and it remains with us. Hopefully the whole pandemic, the whole coronavirus will leave us in a short time, but these achievements and these transformation of people's mindsets will remain with us. And it also, in business-wise, it also means this situation, this closing of the borders and cutting the links between people and changing the ways people interact has meant a huge consolidation in much of the areas of the economy. For example, all the traditional stores who don't have a web shop, they are going to go down. They are going to feel the impacts of the crisis much worse than those with the web shop. And those who didn't manage to introduce e-commerce to their business, it's 2020. Like a year ago, you said, okay, they are old school, or they are traditional, or so, or they have some specialty. But now, after the COVID, you can say that they are some fossils or some dinosaurs of the business, and it's not effective, and they are going to go down. So we are working for the Hungarian government to transform the imagination to reality, because these days very often comes a new technology. It's called disruptive. Not only this year. It's called disruptive for a long time, which we couldn't imagine, and the government couldn't imagine what's going to come next. If you asked the government or some higher government officials about their policy on self-driving cars 10 years ago, they couldn't even imagine how they could deal with this problem, how they could deal with this question. And there are several other areas where digitization was not an issue, or they couldn't imagine it could be an issue, like 10 years ago. Our program was founded 5 years ago in 2015, and we've elaborated several strategies around 60-70 policy papers for the government, and we are executing several of them, from education, which I already mentioned, to child protection, to the promotion of the digital export of the digital goods and startups, and the digitization of agriculture, healthcare, and sport, which was already mentioned by CEO Chen. And we also experiment with new ways of policy making and policy executing, especially in the fields of artificial intelligence and 5G and blockchain, where we asked for the help of the private sector, because we try to make policy, try to make strategies, but we realized that it cannot be done without the help of the private sector and the university and research institutions. So we made things called coalitions. We have coalition on 5G, we have coalition on artificial intelligence in Hungary, and there are government institutions and research institutions, universities, and also small enterprises and big companies working together to make good policies or good strategies on the introduction of AI and the introduction of the new use cases and the ways AI changes our ways of life. And because basically we are dealing, there is a Ministry for Agriculture in Hungary, and they have very good experts in agriculture, but they don't really have expertise on the digitization of agriculture. That's why there is a dedicated organization, which is us, the Digital Success Program in Hungary. We gather a network of around 2,000 experts on digitization, and if there's a new technology, a new disruption, or a new area where policy has to be made, we gather the top ranking Hungarian and international experts to elaborate the strategy. Why we are here today is that we manage the program on promoting the digital export, the export of digital goods in Hungary. We started big. We thought big. We imagined big. We had a huge plan on how to promote hundreds and hundreds of startups and small digital companies with high added value in Hungary. to export their goods. And we realized two things, basically. One thing is the export, and especially the export of new technology and innovative technology, is not a one-man show, two-man show. It's between two persons. They always have to shake their hands and see in each other's eyes and agree on something for business to be done. And we are not the ones to initiate this. We are not the ones to have them agree in a manner. The government gets involved in this. We can merely create the opportunity for them to meet and to socialize and to network. So and the other thing is that the big plans of us to promote them directly and give them funding they doesn't need it. Like you said before, that Taiwan is a capital rich environment, so is Hungary and so is Europe. So if a company needs funding and is dedicated to elaborate their product, they can get funding and they can get the means to accelerate and scale up their enterprise. But what they really need in terms of export and in terms of international relations is mentoring. And there are banal problems when it comes to exporting the goods of the small companies and the innovative and digital companies. For example, the language barriers, and for example the cultural barriers, and the specialties in business models and the differences in business models around the world, and choosing your target market wisely. So I think Hungary has a history of being small and being scarce in natural resources, and so is Taiwan. And we Hungarians always managed achieving big through using our resources wisely and using innovation and using our brains and selling our brains. And so is Taiwan. And I think we can reach a common voice in this, and our companies can team up and partner up and achieve something big and something new and something we can not imagine now. So I hope everyone has a fruitful and interesting and exciting discussion today here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. László. Thank you for your presentation. And now we would like to sincerely invite our second keynote speaker, the advisor of DBS Bank Taiwan, Mr. Stephen Ho, for his presentation. Thank you. Stephen, if you'd be so kind to be on stage with us.
But people are looking at the screen over there, so can I stand over there?
Yes, of course. Okay? Yes, of course. The cameraman, is that okay with you?
Is that okay? Because I also need to look at my screen when I'm going through my PowerPoint. Yeah.
Stephen, the floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me here. And also, it's a pleasure to meet you, Representative Lili from Hungary. It's my privilege to be here to share some of my experience with you. When I was actually called upon to share with you actually my experience on digital transformation, it came to my mind that actually it is a very, very big topic. And I'm only given actually 10 minutes for the sharing, and then 10 minutes for the Q&A. And I prepare a deck of 26 slides. So I'm going to go through actually my slides very quickly, but I'm very glad to actually see all of you here, including some old friends, new friends. So a quick background on my touch on digital transformation. So my whole career was actually working for someone. So I was with JP Morgan and then DBS, basically spanning 30 years of my banking career. And I'm working part-time, helping out the bank still. But then in the process, I've gone through basically digital transformation processes in big companies. And usually, actually, when this topic, when it comes up, it actually is with reference to actually big company, how they transform. So when I think about the forum today, and also the participant, a lot of you are very emerging new companies, and basically you're by nature, by birth, you're digital. So I'm not going to actually go into actually how basically startup company, a new company to transform yourself digitally, because you should by right be digital right now. And I also have been volunteering in an incubator in Taiwan since 2016. It's called Garage Plus. And so actually I looked at actually QT Medical, who was one of the participants of today's event, actually was a graduate of Garage Plus of the incubator. So I've been volunteering there for many years, and I'm going to actually take this opportunity to introduce 3 companies, startup companies that I have engaged with in sharing my experience with them over the years, and I'll introduce them as how they actually participate in the digital transformation in the ecosystem. So I'm going to actually look at from an enterprise standpoint and also an ecosystem standpoint of digital transformation. Next page, please. Okay. So I actually made references, and a lot of my slides were taken up actually from the first reference, which is from MIT, Professor Joanne Ross. I don't know her personally, but I watched her video, and I think it's actually very applicable to this topic. So I actually borrow a number of slides from her presentation to share with you. And one of the companies I'm going to actually introduce to you called CanCon. It's Dr. Wei over there. Dr. Wei, can you wave? So Dr. Wei is there, is from CanCon, one of the companies that I also am be engaging with. So Dr. Wei is actually 我的学弟 from MIT. So I attended MIT way back in 1984 in civil engineering. And when I look at actually Professor Jean Ross, she actually shared another common thing with me is that we both actually has an MBA from University of Pennsylvania. But this is a very succinct presentation. So this, and by all means, if you want to get a copy of this PowerPoint, please just get in touch with InnoVEX. You know, there's no copyright or anything issue on it. And I do encourage basically that everyone, you know, watch this video. It's worth your time, especially if you have to interface with big companies in your business dealing and how you actually participate in their own digital transformation, okay? The second one is actually digital, chief digital officer from PwC. I don't know him personally as well, but then he basically would tell everyone that digital transformation means very different thing to very different people. Everyone have a different idea what digital transformation means. And so you can reference to him because his idea is actually, if you are in a digital business model, if you use anything digital to do your business, basically that's already digital transformation, unlike maybe some of the more specific application of actually using certain type of technology to digitize and also change digital components in running a business model. And so I'm going to use also on the ecosystem side. It basically a consulting firm has a reference to like the healthcare ecosystem and how it works. Next stage, please. Next page, please. Okay. So digital transformation, as I said, is actually means different things to different people. And on the left is actually the first one. First one is actually just making that you are completely out of paper mode into a data mode. So for big companies, it's actually easier said than done. So many companies still rely on paperwork a lot, and then they put it basically in some form of digital data for basically the information. That is what we call digitizing. On the right-hand side is actually really just being digital. And that means actually in all the dealing with your customer, very important is actually your customer, you use digital means to communicate, to discover, and to offer products on digital platform for them. Next page, please. Okay, now this is what big companies and DBS, at DBS, we went through it actually. We started actually going this journal of actually doing different things at different places and what we call silos. For example, a very, very simple example from the banking industry is that when we deal with customer, we have some kind of digital, or we try to put it, write call memos on Word documents on the call report with customers, and this part of our CRM, customer relationship management, okay? And then when the company, let's say the very traditional commercial banking business, they want to apply for a loan. So we basically write a memo, also digital, because we write it using a Word document, and then we pass around the document to many different groups in the bank, including the credit department, who actually can approve the loan. So like our frontline managers is in one silo, in one unit. Our credit officer who approve are basically on the other, okay? And so when you see all these linkages, it's basically for all these different departments, okay? We basically have all kinds of connections, digitally collect, because we all can open a Word document and look at what other people write, okay? And including another department will be actually when we close a deal, when we collect a fee, basically from the client, then we have to record it into our accounting department, and accounting and finance department is another one. So this is actually, we have been digitizing basically our data, but that we are very, very messy in terms of communicating even internally. Next page, please. And the holy grail of basically digitizing is basically shutting down all these silos and integrating them into an infrastructure backbone. Then everyone can basically get to standardize the processes. And because of the standardization, we can share the data accordingly across many different departments. And some actually can share application, not all, depends on whether it's relevant or not. And then also share the technology. Now the technology, for example, what is different? Way back when, I think most banking business were very conservative. We still run on actually IBM mainframe. So we still utilize like databases like CICC, DB2. Those are database, relation to database type of technology actually 20 years ago. And now we're talking about actually blockchain and tokenizing a lot of assets. So this is those are shared technology that can be shared only if you have a strong backbone that is well designed. Next page, please. Okay, so we're going to actually look at a very, very simple case, which is actually used by MIT. Can I just survey anyone? Have you ever heard of this department store in the United States called Nordstrom? Please raise your hand if I know. Oh, I am surprised that actually at least 20, 30% people you know, because it's very, very US-centric. And I have a heart for this company because I have a lot of relatives in Seattle. So I usually go to Seattle almost once a year until COVID-19. And then and they differ themselves in terms of they have offline, full price, product lines. They have stores that are physical, they have online. And this is just a schematic to illustrate basically the type of assets they have to put together and basically how they digitize to do the business. All right. With the next page, please. So basically, again, this is very schematic, okay? It's very, very macro in terms of actually integrating the back office into the front line to offer services and product capabilities. This is a slide from 2015, okay? And the key is actually what is written above is actually they are basically opening up a very, very transparent supply chain type of system for all the units to share data and share applications so that they can offer office services accordingly. Next page, please. So this is actually their journey, and they stopped at 2015 because it's really at 2015, it's 5 years ago, okay? So you can look at 1998, when we have the internet, so you have Nordstrom.com, and then gradually they actually moved to more applications. And so this pinpoint is actually around 2013. There's a there's a good platform at the time called Pinterest. So they got on Pinterest. And I saved you guys for looking at many slides because I just put pinpoint. But if you look at actually the column right here, on this column at the top is blurred here, but it's actually Instagram. So basically from Pinterest, they also moved to Instagram. So they offer all these actually with other platforms for the businesses. Now the difference between why it's a success story, you have to compare to some of the famous, maybe even I think more famous department store names, the American that are still, you know, they have an international reputation. Macy's, Sears, Bloomingdale's. I think some of you may recognize this name. They've all gone bankrupt. All of them have filed Chapter 11 once or twice. They haven't. And actually, if you Google Nordstrom, actually in the COVID-19 era, you will see actually news on them that they're actually doing better than others. Now, that was one of the reasons I think we can all attribute basically that they have built this backbone that can support them basically advancing actually digital business models. Please, next page, please. And so this is the holy grail. Is from the left, which you have a lot of silos, okay, a lot of different departments not linking in a unified way to the right-hand side. For DBS, we have done it for 10 years. I don't think we're exactly there yet. It's still some ways to go, okay? But I think we pride ourselves that we have basically done more than a lot of other banks, and that's why we won actually twice in a row the Best Digital Bank award, actually in 2018, 2019. I think for a Singaporean bank to get that award over other very, very internationally well-known banks, we feel very proud of it. Next page, please. Okay, so those are three other examples, and please feel free to dig out of how successful they are because I don't have the time to share with everyone here. Amazon, I think everyone knows that, and then they have an application, they have a service called Prime that actually a lot of their customers could not live without now, okay. Schneider is a very traditional company, and because of their customer engagement, they basically restructure all the manufacturing business around services and offer basically innovation, eco-friendly type of solutions to the customer that are very well received. CarMax is a car dealer. Basically, they just, from a brick and mortar, instead of going to car dealers to look at cars, they show you online. But then from them, they also get to a lot of actually the supply chain transparency. So including all the way to deliver the car to you. So you don't even need to be physically anywhere close to CarMax, and then you would have bought basically a car from them that would deliver to your doorstep, okay? Next page, please. So this is on the right-hand side. Left-hand side basically is the backbone, is the digitizing the data, and the right-hand side is basically running digital models. And there are some buzzwords here as well. So everyone knows about the cloud because the cloud makes actually sharing of data anywhere, you know, ubiquitously on a 24/7 basis. And there are digital offerings, basically products, but what is making up that is actually a lot of data components to that. You know, you need data from the customer and you need data from the company to see actually how they can together with the integration that we just talked about, basically can become like your business components on these type of application that it can serve. So this is, again, a macro schematic way to represent. And for the startup companies, I hope that you can focus on something, okay? This is from my mergers and acquisition, because I started out in mergers and acquisition. And for all M&A deals, you have to question the logic of why people get combined. So even though you are a startup company that you think you should be a unicorn, you think that you can be a very big company, you'll be the next GE, okay, the next Microsoft. But one way to look at it is actually you are starting as a component to service basically all the other enterprises as part of the digitization process. And that may be from an M&A perspective an exit for the investors, actually through an M&A trade sale. And If you structure your business that can be plugged into some big companies, which they don't currently have the service, but then by acquiring your company, they'll get instant access, an instant product capability. They can push out, because when you're struggling with all your channels, a big company looking at you, they might have 1,000 channels already. Once they acquire you, then they can actually serve 1,000 channels. And that they will pay part of that benefit as an acquisition price to acquire your company. Okay, next page, please. So this is the two sides, your backbone, internal 搞定, okay, 搞定自己, the internal digitization. And then you face the customer and have digital offerings that can actually engage them and increase your revenue and grow your digital revenue. In between, and this is a very, very hot, I think, term API for about 5 years already. But then API actually has been around even when I went to school in engineering. It's like 30, 40, almost like 40 years ago. But then it was seldom mentioned because it's not as prevalent. So because of actually the advance in APIs, a digital type of exchange, type of data, at DBS Bank, actually, we have close to 300, definitely over 200, I don't know the exact number, of APIs that we use to work with our developers or our clients, our customers, our partners, and so forth. That is something that it is very prevalent today. But because of the regulatory constraint, I think we can only use like only 10% or 20% of what we develop in Singapore and Taiwan. So a lot of it, obviously, you have a lot of other considerations. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is about the culture and the organization. And again, this is schematic because on the left, it is a very rigid structure, even it's matrixed. On the right, honestly, personally, I have not been that kind of environment, except that I have a lot of clients that are moving that way. Some clients started that way, is that you have tribes moving around, but then they have common vision and common goal. And the next page, please. Because I only have 1 minute, okay? So this is actually the 8 principle. Again, they are big words, okay? But it's actually very cultural and very management type of discussion. It's much easier said than done. So I just had a meeting with basically a few startups, and they all think that trust and not control, for example. Is it so much easier to trust your team when your team is not performing? Do you make them actually feel empowered? How do you actually motivate them and upgrade the skill sets to be part of the digital journal? So this is, again, for your reference. So my purpose is to actually introduce this to you. I think it's a very, very good overview of actually digital transformation. And so the next slide, please. And it takes a long time. So this is actually from research from MIT. They gathered a lot of the companies that have embarked on the digital journey from year 1 to year 7. You can see basically the core business, this is a traditional business that the core business are not growing, but they because of the investment, starting from the year 6 and year 7, they start to pick up in digital revenue to maybe like over 10%, close to 20%, but it's only 20% of the revenue again. So some people say, hey, we invest so much effort in it, are we going to see anything? So from a DBS, and you can look at our public disclosure, actually 2 years ago, because we do actually break down some of the digital revenue benefits. And one of the benefits is that our digital revenue has much higher margin than our traditional revenue. So if our traditional revenue is like, let's say operating margin of like 12%, digital revenue, we can basically get 67% operating margin, okay, for different product lines. Okay, last, very quickly, skip over this because it's only an overview again. Next page, please. So the first company that I work with, and Dr. Wei is there, MIT Hőenergiatároló, and he actually took the class from Professor Jean Ross, okay, that 2 years ago, right? Yeah. So his company basically will help surgeons in dictating basically their findings and digitize them, and then from a voice signal, time's up already.
No, please complete. Please complete this.
Is it okay, this lady? Is it okay?
A few more minutes, Stephen.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Because only 3 more minutes, because 1 minute for each company. So his company basically digitized the voice and then make it into text so that the surgeons, they don't need to spend a lot of time writing reports. Okay, and with the data that they gather, hopefully they can also integrate with actually images and text and use AI to actually provide better diagnosis, okay, and medical therapeutic type of solutions to endoscopy discover type of diseases like colon cancer. Okay, so next page, please. So he is basically digitizing or contribute to the digitizing or digital transformation of basically other people in the ecosystem. Who else are in the ecosystem other than actually Dr. Wei's company? Patients, hospital, insurers, image archive vendors, image AI developers, and doctors. So basically, his is in the center. Hopefully, he is a component in digitizing the ecosystem and help the digitizing of actually some other participants. Next page, please. Okay, so this is, again, basically the benefit that he can bring. So next page, please. So the second company is a company called PetTalk. And David, where's David? David's over there. So David is a founder of PetTalk and basically is a knowledge sharing platform for pet owners. And the major content generation that makes and who it has been attracting is built up to actually 200,000 users, unique user per month, is actually for pet health data. So his ecosystem includes basically medical doctors here, vet med doctors, pet owners, and also brand owners for pet food, pet nutritional products. Others could be actually service provider like pet training, pet grooming type of outfit. How they basically, the user behavior of the owner as well as the pet. Okay, because the pet don't use the platform, it's really the owners who use the platform. So he is also in the midst amongst basically a big growing pet related type of ecosystem. Next page, please. Yeah, so basically he offers an app and the social media and then the website. The ERP is a new project they will be embarking on. It's basically providing a health information system on the cloud for physicians, for veterinary medical doctors. Next page. Yeah, so this is basically from gathering of data again and enhancing basically some of the other ecosystem player, especially on the right-hand side is their client, including brand. We talk about insurance company, service provider, and so forth. Next page. Okay, the last but not the least, so Ronald is here. He's the founder of AutoPass. So AutoPass basically provides solutions first, basically to parking lots in the Taiwan area. So Ronald actually have started a company earlier that he sold to Acer first, and then move on to this new platform, which actually is enlarging, not just actually for parking lots, but his ecosystem basically will involve other players, including garages, meaning the car repair garages, not the parking lots, including gas stations, including even financial players. Next page, please. Yeah, so basically he is ubiquitous actually around the island already. Next page, please. Last second. And this is basically if you have questions, please actually, all these founders of these companies are here. So later on, if you have more questions, ask them directly in terms of what kind of disruption they are actually bringing to the industry and how they're contributing to digitizing the sector. The last page, next page. Yeah, so this is, again, the last description or introduction of actually AutoPass app. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you. At the moment, we actually run out of time for QA, to be honest. But I would still love to invite Stephen on stage. I think Mr. László is still online with us. Mr. László, are you still online with us? Can you give us a quick wave?
Yes, hello.
Fantastic. So we will take maybe 5 minutes for any QAs. I'll leave the opportunity to our studio audiences. Do you have any questions that you'd like to address to maybe Stephen or to László? Okay, if not, I actually have questions. So it sounds like, for Stephen perhaps, would you be so kind to let us know, in terms of larger corporations doing digital transformations, could it be cultural that they need to decide first that they are going to go heads-on with this? Because we have actually experienced this, is that perhaps department head says, okay, let's go digitize, and they encourage their staff members to do so. But because it's not a company policy as per se, this message doesn't get through, and some colleagues do it, some don't, and it just ends up with a very inconsistent database. So is it the role of the company or the organization to go headstrong and says, yes, we are going to do it? Is that perhaps the first step?
Yes, I very agree with you. That is coming down to culture. But then again, culture is a very big word. There's also many different aspects of culture. And I think especially for large companies that are more traditional, less digital, it's very important that the decision and also the role model has to start at the top. So many different situations, I think we can come across older guys like me, because I'm going to be 61 actually in a few days.
Happy birthday!
Thank you
in advance.
If basically I say, oh, I see, I went to MIT, and then this professor came back to me and said, don't forget your roots, you need to be digital. Well, I'm not. It's really for a leader or a manager or a chief executive to actually also learn themselves to walk the talk. Otherwise, it's actually very hard to actually percolate down to also more mature, older employees to actually take it. We don't really worry about the new stream of graduates who basically will bring us all these capabilities, because I think everyone should know how to program in Python, even though it's not the case yet. But I think we're going to get there in 5 years, because we are starting to have education actually since junior high to do programming. So in terms of communication, I'm worried about actually whether the older guy can communicate with the younger guy, rather than the younger guys can communicate with the older guys actually in terms of this. So I think walking the talk, that's my personal view of advising company, that if you want to be successful, it has to basically be digital up and down.
Thank you. And of course, once that headstrong decision has been made, it opens up to different opportunities for startups to come and perhaps to engage with the different corporations at different sectors and at different application levels. And that brings me to my questions to László. Is that something that we see in Hungary, that different corporations or companies are starting to utilize the innovation services provided by different startups at different sectors? And if so, is there a particular sector that is really going for the startup applications? Do you know of any?
I'm sorry, I hear you very bad. Could you repeat it maybe more slowly, because the sound's not great?
Certainly, of course. Following up with the culture of the company making a very, very strong decision on doing digital transformation from top to down, is that something that we see in Hungary happening lately, that companies from different industries are making that decision and allowing startups to work with them?
Yeah, pretty much so. Okay, now I'm not echoing. Yes, very much. Basically, the original culture was that there is a startup, a technological startup, a business startup, trading startup, or so, and there are traditional companies, and the startups want to scale up and then team up with the traditional companies. For example, make their web shop or make them a new technology and cooperate. Now trends go in a way that these startups themselves want to introduce services and new technologies and new innovations. And in order to achieve this, there's a strong trend that before startups were made, they were made by some engineering students in the university, or they were made by some economic majors in the university, or they were made by lawyers to make a new GovTech solution or so. But these were all like leaning in one direction. They were basically technology focused, or basically business development focused, or basically legal or process development focused. We want to enhance this trend that these startups and these people, teams, have a dialogue and team up together in the phase of startup, because there are many good technological solutions with bad business models and bad legal backgrounds, and so and we want to emphasize teaming these various kinds of people, various kinds of students, various kinds of startuppers up in the early phase, in order to have a good track and not having to lean after the innovation is being made. And to enhance this, the European Union is launching a program, and we are setting up European digital innovation hubs in specific fields and in specific areas geographically in Hungary, in order to cover some areas, for example, the fintech or the medical technologies or electromobility, for these startups and these people interested in those areas to team up and get professional help in a coordinated way, because expertise is one thing, but getting through is another, and this getting through is what government, but not directly, but through the universities and these innovation centers and innovation hubs can help, actually.
Thank you very much. Now, due to time constraints, I think we have literally run out of time. If you have any questions that you would like to address, maybe Stephen or László, please do so using the comment section, and we will definitely divert all your questions to them respectively, and then we'll ask them to reply either through TCA, or we'll do so through our YouTube video comment section. So thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you so much, very much. And thank you so much, László, for participating, if you'd be so kind. So now next, it is with great pleasure, thank you very much, to continue further to our next stages of our webinar. Is we have quite a few startups for their presentation. So we'll start with the Hungarian startups. We have 5 in a row. So I will just kindly request my team here to continue with the first one. The first one is called Consolidity. If you'd be so kind, the floor is yours. I think he's playing a video. Excellent. Thank you very much. So please, let's look at their presentations. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tamás Varga, and I'm founder and CEO of Consolidity. We started this whole project when we realized that people have been doing administration the same way over the last 50 or 60 years. And this same way needs some kind of transformation, because we realized that it's seriously ineffective, and it generates a lot of costs for the companies, which they don't even realize. Over a year ago, we gathered a team to develop a framework that can solve any kind of problem with digital administration. The way we did it is that we analyzed how people do work, and every tool, every practice they do, we recreated in the digital space. Consolidity is this framework. After we understand how our clients are working, we use our Consolidity creator to recreate the whole work process in the digital space, exactly the same way as they are doing it. Since we can exactly replicate your company's work processes in the digital space, we eliminate the time needed to understand how to work with this platform. And with that, the product becomes more convenient for you to use. We know that it sounds really complex and hard to understand, so the best way would be if I showed you what we did for one of our clients. So our client, Finductive, offers companies a way to open bank accounts in various European Union countries without personal presence or print of a paper. And they asked us to make a portal where clients can participate, give up the data, and then they can evaluate and do all the necessary administration like KYC, AML, risk analysis, and then do the contracts and sign the contract. And this product is about that. So first the client comes in and selects that he wants to set up a corporate payment account and fills up all the necessary data needed for the bank account opening. There are various fields for different kinds of data input, like a phone number or like a drop down for the countries of operation, multiple select, every kind of fields. And technically, all what you see in the video is generated in the instance when you download the page. So you cannot get to any kind of field to see how it works, how the risk works, because you only see what you are permitted to see. And with this way, it seems impossible to hack and reverse engineer the whole system. This reduces the time needed to fill up all the documents, because our main aim is to input all the data only once in each process, so you don't have to write down your name like 10 different times because it's in 10 different people. So you have submitted all the data, and it comes to the admin screen where the administrator of Finductive can check all the data you have put in, approve it, download the documents you have seen, download the KYC document, which is done strangely this way for them, and then approve the documents if they can be approved. So then there is a summary screen where all the data put into the system can be checked and approved again. As you can see, everything must be approved, and normally, you read through everything as part of the KYC process. If something is not good, then you can make a message to the client, and then it can be approved again. There are also some so-called hidden fields that help our client to do the checks for them. And you can do all the administration needed for governments, financial authorities, and all this stuff. And when everything is approved, on the other side, you get your risk assessment from the data input at the client, using all the risk scores given by the customer in this very handy, very nice looking template. Generated live. If anything changes due to the comments or something, the risk assessment is regenerated again with the new scores. If it's approved, then the company selects all the pricing stuff, and their client gets a formal offer. If they accept it in the platform, then there are some company details to be filled after the approval. As you can see, all the UBOs and all the important data that must be reported to some kind of authorities, as you can see. So after all the uploaded documents are approved again, there come the final stages of opening your bank account. You can see there is the offer sheet with all the data generated by our system with the design of our client, with all the terms and conditions and all the boring stuff, filled up with the data you have just put in to the system. And then for the last stages, the whole generated document goes to our third-party partner DocuSign, where you can sign it and send it back. And that is the part where we eliminate the need for printing the paper. So as you have seen in our short presentation, we can do this really complex system of opening your bank account quite easily. And with our Consolidity creator and the core platform, we can do all kinds of administrative stuff like bank loans, HR documents, work contracts, contracts with your clients, including an account for your clients. And that is independent on the country of your origin or the language or the local legislation, because we can tailor the system to any kind of requirement. So thank you for watching this short presentation. If you are interested, you can schedule a demo on our homepage at www.consolidity.com.
Great, thank you very much. That was Consolidity. Next, we have HeatVentors. Okay, I think I don't need to be in the camera right now, but if you'd be so kind to please play the video. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rita, CEO and co-founder of HeatVentors, and I would like to introduce our product Heat Tank, the new generation thermal energy storage system, which saves energy, money, space, and what we care about most, the environment. Traditionally, we store heat by changing the temperature of the water. Instead of water, we use special biomaterials called phase change materials. By changing the phase, like melting and solidification, we can reduce storage volume by 90%, save at least 20 to 50% energy, with a total return on investment within 3 to 5 years. You can imagine our technology as a huge ice cube, because you know when you put ice in your drink, it cools it down really fast and it stays cool for a long time. HeatVentors products are patented, customizable, yet scalable, thanks to our algorithm and flexible manufacturers. Compared to the water storage, Heat Tank is smaller in size and usable for cooling as well. Compared to the other phase change storages, Heat Tank is more efficient, thanks to the patented structure, and we have faster return on investment. Our product consists of 3 parts. We have a patented structure, and we manufacture it with an international manufacturer. For the different phase change materials, we have different suppliers from Europe and from China, but we are always working with materials which are safe for the environment, not toxic, and not dangerous in an energy system. The software and hardware part of the control system is also patented and made by us. And how does it work? Our solution decreases your cooling energy cost by 20 to 50%. The phase change material is inside the storage around the pipes, which are connected to the HVAC system. When you have extra cooling energy, the cold water goes through the storage, charge it, while the phase change material solidifies. When you need the cooling energy, warmer water goes through the storage, The storage cools it down while the phase change material melts. With this process, you can make your system more efficient and more secure. Also, our product can store the heating and cooling energy on many temperature levels to fit to every system. Our main target segments are data centers, telecommunication sites, and commercial buildings, because in this field, the cooling is a very big, urgent, and only partially solved problem. For existing systems, we offer efficient cooling solution, energy saving, and cost reduction. When the efficiency of the cooling system is high, we generate more cooling energy, store it, and when the efficiency is bad, we can use the pre-stored energy. Also, we can use the price difference between peak and off-peak periods and free cooling. We can increase the safety of the systems because in case of a blackout, the cooling system needs 4 to 6 minutes to restart, and with our storage, we can cover this period. In case of a new system, we have additional benefits by reducing the initial costs. With our product for peak performance management, we can reduce the size of the cooling unit by 30%, which means a cost reduction in the whole chain, including electric cables. In peak time, the additional needs are covered by heat tank, and in off-peak periods, the energy saving is still possible. Taiwan is the perfect market for us due to the continuous digital development and the subtropical climate. Our aim is to find partners and find customers. We have 3 different business models. We sell our product B2B or lease it like an ESCO model, so we give the storage for free and we will share on the savings for 5 to 8 years. For B2C solutions, we license our technology to other companies to manufacture and sell the products instead of us, we just provide the blueprints. We have 4 standard products in small size, and in case of a higher need, we offer more storages together in a modular system. We have 4 working systems, 2 for data center cooling, 1 for gas engine heat recovery, and 1 for district heating system. Now we are working on a hotel building cooling in Indonesia. If you would like to know more about our systems and about the measured results, please visit our website or contact us if you are ready for a patented, scalable product which saves energy, money, space with really fast return on investment. Heat tank, the cool way to store heat.
So thank you so much for HeatVentors and also Consolidity. That was really good 2 presentations dedicated to our events today. So our third presentation today by the companies from Hungary is WM System House.
Yes, hello.
Hi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, great. So you have 5 minutes and the floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Are you going to share a presentation with us?
Yes, sure.
Don't worry, we are not going to count 5 minutes right now. We will only start counting when you start presenting.
Okay. Did it load correctly?
Not yet. Want to try again? Oh, fantastic. Okay, here we are. Here we go. Thank you very much. Now the floor is yours. We have 5 minutes. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Hi, hello to everybody. My name is Balint Szabó. I am responsible for the international business development here at WM Systems. And first of all, I'd like to say thank you for this great opportunity to the Taipei Computer Association and of course to the Digital Success Program of Hungary. This is actually the first large digital conference I participate in, and I'm truly impressed how professional and efficient it is. I guess this is a digital transformation at its best. So now, since we have a very limited time, let me get right to the point and start my presentation. Let me start by introducing our company first, WM System, and explain what sets apart from our competitors, and then go through the slides to showcase our products real fast. So WM Systems is an IIoT developer company, which means we focus on industrial IoT. We have been on the market for almost 20 years, focusing exclusively on cellular industrial IoT. Our offices are scattered in 3 European countries, but we sell our products worldwide. 20 years experience in a fast-changing industry gives us a unique advantage, a very deep understanding of the technologies that serve as the basic building blocks of any IoT solution, right? The industrial interfaces and protocols on one side, such as MBUS, RS232, 485, MQTT, and the mobile network technologies on the other side, 2G, 4G, LTE, narrowband IoT. So combining these allows us to develop high quality custom products. Okay, so there are two main things that actually distinguish us from other IoT developers, and this is one of the quality of our product. We manage to produce exceptionally high quality products because we control the whole product development cycle from design to manufacturing, from hardware to software. And this allows us to achieve a very high level of hardware software integration that results in better product quality. And the other big advantage is that it allows us to design products that are easy to customize. Let me try to. Okay, so this is our practice in customization. From scratch, we design a product on PCBs, for example, and hardware, with possible later customization in mind. So that when our clients need an extra support, the protocol, we can implement them better. So most industrial IoT products are not designed for customization. Therefore, most suppliers cannot offer the level of customization to industrial customers that they typically require. So this is how we see our value proposition to potential clients. Okay, so right now let me go through a few slides that talk about our product. So let's start with the toolchain and data concentrators. So we basically sell communication devices for the IoT. These are routers, modems, and gateways, concentrators. So let's start with the routers. There are basically a smaller, rugged, more simple and more efficient industrial user for various industrial applications. And we have a pro version of it with a series of extension options, second SIM card or IO extension board or similar things. We have data concentrators, 8, 16, 32 digital inputs that are great to, you can connect a series of smart meters, for example, attach a modem to it and have a very cost-efficient remote metering solution. Then our smart meter modems are our flagship product. So we have been manufacturing smart modems for more than 10 years now, and we have been strategic partners of some of the largest manufacturers like Andy's, Itron, or elsewhere. We have been supplying modems both to them and their clients that were specifically designed for their meters. Okay, so when I say specific design, I mean that, for example, the hardware casing in the terminal cover, our bottom is optimized for the meter, and so on. So as I said, this is our actual plan. We sell hundreds of thousands of modems every year. We have a unique experience in designing smart meter modems. So you see a few that, for example, this is designed specifically for Honeywell Astor meters. It's compatible with a series of their models, but we have others that are compatible with other models or other manufacturers like EMH or LUMDs in the next slide. Yeah, or ITOR. So, and we have universal modems as well. This is a very hot selling product. You know, industrial automation spreading all around the world. People need universal modem. Need all kinds of equipment, a meter. This is a product that's very important for us. And then our latest development is water metering or smart water metering. It's basically a counter and transmitter device. It's basically a modem for water metering. It can be attached to almost any kind of water meter that has a pulse output, and it comes with an internal battery that has a 10-year plus lifetime. So it's the ideal, you know, solution to do smart metering at remote sites, especially where there are no other activity options. And our other very versatile product is called a load control box. It's basically a load control switch. It's a switch with a model. It's a very versatile product. It provides a communication and switch the load to remotely control activity. It is basically used to just play with the application, station management, and street light automation or smart light. So in the latest, it goes into the street lighting cabinet, allows operators, DSOs for example, to control the street lights, the lamps remotely, to turn them off or on or to dim in or similar thing. And then the substation installation management, this device is connected to various equipment in the substation so that, again, operators can remotely control these equipment and by that allow basically substation automation. So this is a product that we see a huge demand in these two applications lately. Street light management, we have implemented the OSLP protocol, which is the de facto protocol for street light management, at least in Europe, but as far as I know, it's around the world. And this product is probably the only one, only such product that have this protocol implemented. So, okay, so these 3 or 4 products that I introduced are widely used in most industrial IoT solutions, like building automation or factory automation or industrial automation in general, smart grids and smart metering, and smart cities, more specifically, smart lighting. So this is what we do, and most importantly, we are very flexible in designing, manufacturing, customized IoT solution for our industrial partners. So here, to end this presentation, I'd like to introduce some of our differences. We work a lot with utilities. So you see a lot of utility logos. We work with utilities all around the world, helping them with their smart grid and metering solutions, basically. So again, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity. And if you have any questions, I'm ready to answer.
Okay, thank you so much. I do apologize. We I think we have experienced some sort of bandwidth insufficiency. So the sound effects or sound quality wasn't all there. I think this is why we have digital transformation, and it's going to only get better. So it's coming, guys. Next, we are happy to present the next speaker from Hungary is Kuube Hungary. So if you'd be so kind, Kuube Hungary, the floor is all yours. I think we're expecting Kuube Hungary to be online. Excellent. Well, I think that's very interesting. Already a lot of imaginations are coming up with this particular solution. Our final speaker. Thank you. Our final presentation from the companies from Hungary is WebKey app.
WebKey is a remote control software for Android. It has two components, a central dashboard, which runs in your web browser and from where you can access your devices, and a small client app you have to install on your Androids. After installing the client app on a smartphone, a smartwatch, a set-top box, a smart TV, a cash register, or really any other POS device, you can access your Android remotely and in real time on the WebKey dashboard. Select any device from your fleet and start working with it. It's pretty simple. Just click on the screen and it will act as it would be in your hands. Volume control, sleep, and all physical buttons are working as well. You can take screenshots or record videos with WebKey. From GPS tracking to launching any app remotely, WebKey offers a simple solution. If you want to dig deeper, with the terminal access feature, you can run advanced scripts and commands through 4G or Wi-Fi. Our servers are located around the world and all securely encrypted. If you need a private server license or want to integrate your own software, contact us. WebKey, take control.
All right, thank you so much. I must say, very impressive by the presentations recorded by the Hungarian companies, and of course to WM's System House also for your online live presentation. Thank you so much. Now, next we have 6 companies from Taiwan for their presentation. So without further ado, here's our first company, AgilePoint. The floor is yours. You have 5 minutes. Thank you.
Hello. Hi. Good afternoon, everyone on site, and maybe good morning for everyone on the remote. Okay. I'm Vicky Chen. My company is AgilePoint. Today is my pleasure to introduce what is AgilePoint can do for you for the digital transformation. Okay. The first slide I want to introduce is because of digital transformation, actually it's speed up the very big paradigm shift. So what is the two? The first one is the hyper automation. And the other one, maybe you can guess, or I don't have time to give you time for guess. Okay, then the other one is the no code or low code. I think both of them may be very new to you, but I can briefly introduce. So first is about the hyperautomation. This Gartner give the forecast for the year 2020, the top 10 technology trend. And one of the top 10 is the hyperautomation. So if you look at the hyperautomation, you can see it's a hyper and automation together. So actually it means when we do digital transformation, we will use a lot of different automation tools. For example, maybe you will know the quite popular one is RPA. It's we can call it a data entry robot. Automatically enter a lot of data for you. And also AI is part of the automation tools. So hyperautomation actually means you need to use many different automation tools all together to make your automation more efficient and more smartly intelligent. Okay, that is a map. It's also from Gartner. You can look in the web. And I also have included the link. So this map says that the one in the simple automation is in the left-hand side, and the hyperautomation is in the right-hand side. And in the middle, a lot of different automation tools. For example, the BPN, or use the workflow, or some automation tool like BOT, the BOT. It's when you try to connect to a company, maybe most of the time it's a robot talk to you first and then go to the human. That's a kind of automation tools. Okay, and then the other one is come to the no code or no code. So when we do digital transformation, every company, actually this digital transformation is very hard for more than five years. But after COVID-19, it's really make every company treat this digital transformation seriously, because all of your employees need to work from home. So work from home become a norm. Then to support the work from home, you need to digitize everything for your employee, and also you need to contact with your customer digitally. So, which means we need many digital applications. And then obviously there's a big shortage of the developer. So the no code, low code become very hard. For example, Google just bought AppSheet to do the no code application automation. And Microsoft, they introduced the Power Platform for since 2019, heavily promote this Power Platform. And AWS just newly announced they have the Honeycode. It's also a no-code platform. So, and also for the New York City, when the COVID-19 hit New York City, they built the emergency management application in just few days using a low-code platform. Okay, so these two trends is very new, but I think it's around us, everywhere. So then about AgilePoint, and AgilePoint actually is I only have 1 minute. Okay, then AgilePoint is the platform, a light web platform to support you to automate anything, and you can integrate with AI to make your automation intelligently. And we also is a local platform to help you to build those applications. For example, if you build if you want to design your application, you will need three things. One is the UI, and the other is your business logic, and the third one is the data. So we provide you the tool to build your application. The tool is a GUI tool, a graphical tool to design your UI, your logic, and your data integration, and integrate with many complex systems. For example, your ERP, your CRM, and your backend legacy data. It's very complex, but we are a lightweight layer to help you to build your automation in the local or no-code way. That is AgilePoint. So I think we have a booth there, so maybe I can only explain to here because my time is up. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, yes, we only have 5 minutes each for each company. So our next company here from Taiwan is QT Medical. Thank you. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, and thank you, Steve, my dear friend and a very long-term mentor. My name is Peter Chang, co-founder of QT Medical. It's a pleasure to be here. QT Medical is a medtech founded in 2013. Our focus is on ECG technology. Our founder, Dr. Cheng, is a pediatric cardiologist and a professor at UCLA. And our first product, PCA 500, is cleared by the FDA and CE mark for both patient use at home and professional use. Our FDA clearance is expected by the end of the year. Till this day, medical standard 12-lead ECG is still only available in hospital and doctor's office. So our mission is to make it possible for patients to do medical standard 12-lead ECG at home. To do an ECG test, you need a big machine and 10-lead wires. You also need a technician to operate a complicated machine. PCA 500 is greatly simplified the complicated procedure. With PCA 500, there is no need for technicians. Even patients with no experience and no training can do 12-lead ECG all by themselves. And the magic is on the electrode. The pre-positioned and pre-connected electrodes make it so easy that everyone can do 12-lead ECG by themselves. We conducted a clinical trial in United States to compare the PCA 500 with the market leader, Philips PageWriter TC70. Despite the PCA 500 is super compact and much lower cost, but the signal quality and the clinical interpretation are the same. PCA 500 is not just another ECG machine. It's a complete platform. Includes a super compact recorder, wireless electrode strip, apps on the mobile device, and all ECG are managed in the cloud. Our auto diagnostic will provide the interpretation instantly. So there are plenty of market opportunity, including the airline, prison, CRO, and nursing home, emergency room, post-op monitoring, and the opposite market will be the home care. We partner with the largest aviation medical service provider, MedAir, who serve over 160 airlines. And the COVID-19 came along, changed everything. So we launched the new business model in the United States, Express ECG, which is an online order mail delivery home ECG test. The doctor need only to place order online to QT Medical, and we will mail the PCA 500 kits to the patient's home to let patients complete the ECG test all by themselves. Now that we have the world only PCA 500 platform, which allow patients to do 12-lead ECG all by themselves, and followed by launching the Express ECG to let doctors order the ECG test for patients. The final step to complete our business model is to provide the ECG 360 service, which is a fleet of Uber doctor to provide the diagnosis at any time and any place. And then we have everything in place to make our market strategy complete. Our founder, Dr. Cheng, was invited as the speaker at the American College of Cardiology Innovation Forum to introduce Express ECG service. Welcome to listen to the replay. And our TFDA clearance is expected to receive by the end of the year. So everyone here are interested in collaboration with us and will be very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you very much, QD Medical. Thank you. Okay, so our third company from Taiwan is POOPOUT. Yes, I actually did say that correct. It's called POOPOUT. Thank you. If you'd be so kind to stand in the middle for us, thank you.
Okay.
And the floor is yours. You have 5 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Madeline and I'm the sales representative of POOPOUT. So we developed a pet potty that removes pet waste in just 3 seconds and no water or power needed, leaving no odor at all. So let me tell you the story behind this invention. Our founder, Leeson, had a pet rabbit, Bin Bin, 10 years ago. Although he loved her company, you know rabbits, right? Their mess is stinky and everywhere. So having to clean her crate after work every day is just a lot. It got him thinking, why aren't there any pet potties on the market that are clean and easy to use? So, as a designer, he created POOPOUT, a user-friendly pet potty that no one has ever seen before. Before developing POOPOUT, we needed to know if this is a real problem for pet owners. So, we handed out 1,000 questionnaires asking, what is the most annoying task for pet owners? And 78% answered cleaning pet waste. Now this is the answer we needed. As you can see, us pet owners really put up with a lot just for our lovely pets. Now, let's talk about why cleaning the crates is such a huge task. The traditional crates we have on the market usually has a crate on the top and a platform on the bottom that carries everything. So to clean it, you need to wash and scrub the whole thing, which is really time-consuming, and to be honest, pretty unhygienic. And the wastewater also pollutes the environment. You gotta have positive thoughts and loads of love for your pet while cleaning their mess, if you know what I mean. So, how big is the pet market, you ask? According to Euromonitor International, the value of the global pet market in 2016 is $100 billion. With so many pets in the world, there is a ton of pet waste waiting for us to clean up. And we have the perfect way to solve this. And you would want to hear this. And this is POOPOUT, a smart and useful design and a cute and chic exterior. How does POOPOUT do it? Curious? So, everything is going to happen really fast. Pay attention.
3、2、1。好，清洁完毕了。
Okay, so as you can see from our founder Leeson's demonstration, the cleanup is in just 3 seconds. And the mess is still warm, but odorless. It takes courage to smell it, you know. Now, let's talk about the features of POOPOUT. First, it's super affordable, which can easily be owned by all pet owners. And next, it's suitable for various mid-sized pets, not just for dogs, but also rabbits, large birds, and guinea pigs. Also, POOPOUT is fast and easy cleans up in just 3 seconds, and no dust and no secondary contamination. Last but not least, no water or power needed, so you can place it anywhere in your house. And POOPOUT has also attended the APPA Global Pet Expo in Orlando, Florida this February. People were amazed to see how easy it is to use POOPOUT. And these are the faces you just had when you saw our video. The possibilities of POOPOUT is endless. For now, POOPOUT is for mid-sized pets. And in the future, we will have small and automatic pet potties, which we will combine with AIoT, and you can monitor and take pictures of your pet's mess to control their health. For example, if there's weight loss or maybe weight gain, and maybe they have health problems, you can all know it in just a sec. And we will upload the data to the cloud, and you can control it everywhere just on your phone. What's more, we plan on entering the long-term care and the medical industry and growing trees by using our POOPOUT products. Lastly, we provide POOPOUT to the countries that lack water supplies and sewer systems, letting people have a clean and sanitary restroom environment. Right now, POOPOUT needs venture capitalists and distributors worldwide. If you're interested in POOPOUT, please, come to our stand for further discussion. Let's create a clean future together. To sum up, POOPOUT's mission is to take on all the poop in the world. And this is POOPOUT. Thank you.
Thank you very much, POOPOUT, for your very interesting presentation. Our next company from Taiwan is called iStaging, where I'll invite Stefan to be on stage. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Stefan, and I am with iStaging. We are an augmented and virtual reality platform, content platform, and we basically exist to help people digitize and visualize any product and any space globally. So that is basically what our solutions are also about, to turn any space into an immersive experience with minimal learning effort, minimal hardware, and obviously also very low cost. We are a Taiwanese startup. Our head office is in Taipei. We also have an office in Paris, France, and we have tons of partners across the globe, as you can see, that help us sort of realize our vision, to advance our vision. We are probably most known for our virtual tour platform, which basically consists of two main components. Number one is our VR Maker app that really easily enables you to capture 360 panoramas using your smartphone, so really, really simple. Then our second component is our VR Editor, which is a comprehensive editing platform that enables you to build your virtual tour, and you can then ultimately easily share that with anyone in the world because it's essentially a URL link. I'll skip this slide. Now, obviously, when you've created your virtual tour, the one thing that is missing is the interactivity, being able to communicate with your clients. And that's what touring is, which is built on top of our virtual tour platform, which basically enables you to connect with your clients or anyone that is viewing your virtual tour in real time, and you can then guide them through that space wherever they are in the world, which is obviously very important for industries such as property sales, real estate, but also for the automotive industry or maybe retail and even virtual exhibitions. All right, then we've got quite a few add-on solutions to enhance your digital experience. So, for example, floor plans. We can build a floor plan based on the virtual tour that you've created. Then on top of that, we will also launch very soon the possibility to create social media videos or 360 models, which would be very helpful for retail, for example. Very, very important there. And what we launched about a month ago is our virtual exhibition solution, which was a logical step to build, basically to introduce because we already had the framework with our virtual tour platform. So here there are three things that are very important. First of all, the real-time communication that I just talked about. The second thing is with our platform to easily display and highlight any and all of your products. And then obviously you can transcend geographical boundaries, right? Physical space is limitless, or has a limit, and digitally there's no limit there. Now there are basically three digitization possibilities. Number one, you can capture an actual space like this, and then use that as your virtual exhibition. You can also ask us to render a certain space, all right, a 3D rendered actual space, such as a gallery, for example. And number three is if you mix them together, meaning I could capture this space and then add digital assets inside that space, all right, to create an incredible experience, we would say. So just to sum up, these are some of the benefits, which don't only go for virtual exhibitions, but goes for any space. You can reach more buyers. You can connect with clients. There's limitless product visualization opportunities. We have a very efficient account management platform. And obviously, one of the most important things is behavioral data. What are people looking at? How long are they looking at? What are they clicking on? This is all information that you would want to know if you are, online showcasing a store, or if you have a virtual booth, for example. So the last thing for me to say is elevate your business with us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stefan, for that presentation. Our next company is New Garden. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And good afternoon. I'm Demi from New Garden. Thanks, InnoVEX, having us today. And okay. We are an IoT company that having a leading technology of connectivity and encryption. We aim to eliminate the threshold for everyone to enter the IoT industry. And eventually, we will connect all things human and knowledge. Internet of Things is not a new concept. Tons of people have devoted themselves into this industry for decades. And half of our team members, including our four founders, they have more than 20 years experience in the networking industry. So building on their amazing work, we are now at a great position and timing to boom this market. We have pinpointed three major issues in current IoT market. First, we can see for the hardware manufacturers, it costs too much effort and money to develop an IoT device. And for service provider and system integrators, it is hard for them to manage both network and IoT device at the same time, since they only have fragmented system and platform. As for the end user, we can see 40% of them having trouble with the initial setup. So, all three parties here I mentioned about, they concerned about the cybersecurity of IoT very seriously. So this is why we talk about IoT and smart home so many years, and none of us get to live in Tony Stark's house. So New Garden provide various cloud-to-edge solution to solve this problem accordingly. And each of solution is a flexible combination of our two products, Ultron module and Ultron platform. We provide Ultron module for hardware manufacturer to speed up their development process of IoT devices, so they can skip the painful research and development process and just have their product into the mass product. As for service provider and the system integrator, we provide Ultron platform for them to manage both IoT and the network environment at the same time. So they can provide more thorough service for their clients and reduce the customer service. Okay. So Shaanxi Plastic is one of our successful partner of Ultron module. They are one of the biggest motor manufacturers in Taiwan, and they just adopt Ultron module In 2 hours, their smart motor is ready for demo. In 3 months later, they are ready for the market. And now we already support over 20 brands of home appliance in Taiwan already. And okay. With our platform, anyone can set up their devices from different brands in one app. So that is to say, people can choose anything he's like without considering the management problem. So many interior designers took this feature as an advantage, so they can custom a smart space for their clients as their additional service. So in this case, these hardware manufacturers become designers, a powerful ally, and these designers become these hardware manufacturers' new channel for their IoT devices. So why is Alltron so different? Because we have this the leading technology of connectivity and encryption. And with our Alltron module, you can set up like 50 devices in 5 minutes under the protection of bank-level encryption, such as AES-256 and so on and so forth. Any IoT devices that powered by Alltron can integrate it with Google Assistant and Google Nest Service immediately. That is to say, your product can work with Google immediately as you adopt Alltron module. And we also provide Wi-Fi mesh solution to worldwide telecoms and internet service providers. And for now, we have over 3.3 million households that deploy our Wi-Fi mesh solution. And our ultimate goal is to build up an organic Alltron ecosystem by cooperating with different experts from different fields, such as agriculture, human behavior, and elderly healthcare. We can provide multiple AIoT solutions in different fields. Okay, this is our brief introduction. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Our final speaker for today is Allxon.
Thank you. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. This is Alex from Allxon. So firstly, I would like to thank the Asia Silicon Valley Development Agency to give us this opportunity to share the value of Allxon service and how we could support our customer across different industries. Today, my topic is that to accelerate the digital transformation with IoT device management solutions. So according to Oscar report, that they point out 5 major elements when talking about the digital transformation. The first, you have to have the new organization, and the second, you have to build up your culture, and you have to find a talent with the capability, and you also need to review and reconstruct your data management server, and the last one, you have to have the new technology and the tooling. So all these elements that we focus one thing to focus on your customer to help them to solve their problem. So Allxon service that's actually focused on the technology and tooling. So I think all startup here that's trying to doing our best to solve our customer pain points. So what pain points Allxon found from our customers? As you know that there are many IoT devices that be connected to the cloud. So the biggest problem somehow torture our customer is that how to well manage and monitor these devices. So this is a report that showing that for every time we dispatch a person to locally, that will cost about $187 USD to solve the problem. So, and in fact, 90% of on-site support, that's just trying to reboot the device, reboot your IoT device, and 70% of the devices will be back to normal. But however, in traditional way, you still need to send people to there to solve the problem. That is very costly. Okay, so also the bring down the cost, especially the operation cost, right now is a big issue to our customers. So this drawing shows that actually 1 of 10 the cost from we call it as the administration cost, that's for buying your hardware devices, but 9 out of 10 the cost from the operation cost. So how to effectively to lower down this operation cost is the hot topic for our customers. So Allxon, we provide an open platform for AIoT device management with the full hardware and the software integrated. We are in Taiwan, and you know that the advantage of all Taiwan vendors are the strong hardware. So we know how we know hardware, and we should provide the new the well solution for our partner to monitor our devices. Okay, so this drawing shows the new way, the new digital transformation way, and the traditional way when we're talking about to manage the devices that will be installed remotely. So you can see that on the right side, when there's any issue happen, you have to schedule the visit. You have to there's a long traffic hours, and you then on the site you have to send your people to solve every issues. Especially, you know that in COVID-19, in the pandemic, so that's not only the operation cost issue, but also the safety issue to send people to the people they probably don't want to go there. But from Allxon solution that you can start to use our platform to monitor, not only monitoring, but also to effectively to solve any issue remotely. Okay. So this is the drawing our the Allxon service. We start from the group enrollment of every devices, and then monitoring, do the remote support, and for our customers, we call the one-stop service. Okay, the key benefit of our solution is the one portal that can save you 30% of the operation cost, and we do 24/7 service. We guarantee our service. So Allxon is, we call that we are the linker for different partners. For IHV, that's hardware vendor. For ISV, the software vendor. And we all together, we work together to provide the solution for our service provider, the system integrator and the managed service provider. So our vision to optimize the business operation together, and our mission is to provide an efficient open platform to help our customer to empower their business operations. So Allxon service, we will keep on, and we keep our customer service on, and we keep our customer business on. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for participating in today's webinar. Thank you so much for joining us at Digital Transformation, when imagination meets reality. So today you've heard 5 companies from Hungary and 6 companies from Taiwan, and 2 experts on their insights of digital transformation. I think we've learned a lot. Certainly I have. Fingers crossed, COVID-19 will blow over soon, and we can get back to regular business engagement. Thank you so much once again for joining us online and also on site. We apologize for running over time, largely. So, but thank you so much for your participation once again. Thank you.